If you don't have a therapist but want to make progress on your recovery from DID, these 4 books may be of help. And even if you do have a therapist, there's only so much that can get done in a weekly hour of therapy. Working between sessions can help you make more progress each week. The first book is Be a Teammate with Yourself. It is co-authored by Dr. Colin Ross. Dr. Ross is a psychiatrist who specializes in working with DID, specifically in DID inpatient programs. This book is short, but it is packed with helpful information. I like this book because Dr. Ross explains a lot of the experiences of DID in a kind and compassionate way. He's encouraging, and he makes it clear that healing is possible. Of the 4 books, this is one I believe is less likely to be triggering to people. The next book is Dr. Brand's Finding Solid Ground Program Workbook. Dr. Brand is an expert in treating DID and has been involved in research to develop treatments specifically for DID. This workbook is the result of some of that research, and it's focused on helping you develop skills critical for regulating your system. Better regulation of your system means less chaos for those early in their recovery journey. I believe this book is also less likely to be triggering. It explains each concept clearly and with great kindness, compassion, and encouragement. I think it might almost feel like having your own DID coach. This is a book I frequently recommend to my DID clients, and so far, every single client who has gotten this book and worked their way through it has reported it to be extremely helpful. I will note that my clients have found it helpful to read a chapter between sessions and then come to a session to discuss it with me. I'm able to answer their questions and clarify anything that was confusing, and I can reinforce the progress they are making because often they don't see it. If you have a therapist and decide to get this book, I recommend talking with your therapist about each chapter as you work your way through. Coping with Trauma-Related Dissociation is another book which has a lot to offer a person healing from DID or OSDD. It starts with a section that explains DID or OSDD and dissociation. It then moves to a section that focuses on foundational skills for self-regulation. There's a whole lot more beyond this as well. The authors mention that it is possible to become triggered while reading this book, as you may remember traumatic events. It's simply not possible to heal from DID without occasionally being unexpectedly triggered. So this is not a knock against the book. The authors, noted experts in treating DID, expect that you will read the book as part of individual or group therapy. I believe you will get a lot more out of this book if it's part of individual or group therapy. Finally, I want to talk about the book Transforming the Living Legacy of Trauma, written by Dr. Janina Fisher, an expert in treating DID. This is a rather short workbook which will help you to understand why trauma from your childhood still seems to be present and fresh in many ways. It helps you to identify the ways your traumatic experiences affected your brain. One entire section is specifically about DID and dissociation, and another is focused on healing. Each chapter in this workbook has specific exercises and worksheets to help you either figure out how something applies to you or help you record what you've learned about your situation. As with the others, I recommend working on this with a therapist if possible. If you've read any of these books, would you leave a comment below about your experiences with it? Thanks.